8 days away from a painful and unnecessary government shutdown, embattled and ineffective Speaker Kevin McCarthy sent the House of Representatives home for the weekend after failing spectacularly to get anything done except to further provoke his own party critics and to potentially isolate his biggest ally. But before we unpack all that, if you haven't yet, please hit that like, subscribe, and the alert bell. Maybe check out my Patreon. I'd appreciate the support. All right, folks, so again, I recently contracted COVID. I am on the mend, but if I sound weird or make any weird noises, I apologize in advance. Just bear with me. So today is Saturday, and Kevin McCarthy has sent the House of Representatives home for the weekend in defeat and disgrace as a member of his own party, but a constant critic and foil to Kevin McCarthy says here, Matt Gaetz, as House members were working on spending bills, Speaker McCarthy was telling people to go home for the weekend at 3 p.m. on a Thursday. Pathetic, low energy. This is why we are where we are. Any progress we're making is in spite of, not due to, McCarthy. Now, again, Matt Gaetz is a foil of Kevin McCarthy. He is a MAGA loyalist, a Trump loyalist. And there's so many dimensions to this particular civil war. But the fact of the matter is, whereas the Senate, for the most part, even on a bipartisan basis, has its crap together, even among Senate Democrats and Senate Republicans, it's the Republican conference in the House of Representatives that's really the issue here. And unlike Nancy Pelosi, Kevin McCarthy is a terrible administrator and a terrible party leader, and so he finds himself being held hostage. So for whatever reason, he decided to throw in the towel for the weekend, go home, perhaps have a mental health day, recalibrate. And yet, not only is he being criticized by his own party members, people who are already criticizing, not only is he being mocked, rightly so, by the Democratic Party, he's potentially isolated one of his own allies, arguably his single most important ally, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She posted this 12-minute-long rant from her home gym. I'm not going to subject you to the entire thing, but I do want to play about a minute-long segment here in which she rails at the House of Representatives, but based on the context, she is railing in particular at the leadership of the House, and in particular, Kevin McCarthy.
And I'm glad I'm back home because I don't really want to talk to anybody right now. This is pathetic. This is the most America Last pathetic thing I've ever seen. And I'm furious about it. I'm so mad about it. I'm standing here going live on Twitter telling the world. I hope everyone knows how sick and damn tired I am of it. I have helped. I have donated. I have fought for the Republican agenda. I have stood by everyone. But when it comes to this, I've told them all year long, I'm not voting for your stupid war with Russia. There should be a peace treaty in that country right now. I'm not voting to murder more people in one of the most corrupt countries on earth. Put America first. Our country is being invaded. We can't even impeach Mayorkas. Can you believe that? We can't even impeach Mayorkas. We should be impeaching Mayorkas. We should be impeaching Biden over the border. Can't even do that.
So, again, she didn't name Kevin McCarthy specifically, but that's clearly to whom she's referring because he is the leader not only of her party in the House of Representatives, he is the chief administrative officer of the House of Representatives in particular. It's clearly his fecklessness, as far as she's concerned, that he takes issue with. Now, again, most of her criticisms are bad faith. She's upset that they're not impeaching President Biden or Homeland Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. That's what she's upset about, okay? But this adds another dimension to the Republican Civil War. As she points out, like or not, I mean, Kevin McCarthy should, I think, in some ways be grateful for Marjorie Taylor Greene because she is the closest thing to a prominent ally who is also adjacent to the Trump camp, even though she's not a member of the Freedom Caucus any longer. And even she's fed up. She's like, listen, I've done my part. I've stood up for, she doesn't mention him by name, but she's like, I've donated, I've campaigned for, I've backed up, I've supported. So even in this respect, Kevin McCarthy is so stupid, so incompetent, so weak, so feckless that he can't do anything without isolating somebody. He is in a no-win situation of his own designing because he has allowed his party to become captured by bad faith, disloyal extremists. Now, based on the current trajectory, the entire country will feel, to some extent or another, the consequences of Kevin McCarthy's decision to, again, abandon principle for the sake of MAGA power if the government heads to a shutdown, which it almost certainly will. President Biden also commented on Twitter saying the last time there was a government shutdown, 800,000 Americans were furloughed or worked without pay. But enjoy your weekend. So anyway, that's the situation as it is. There's no telling what the situation will look like once Congress comes back into the office on Monday. I doubt Kevin McCarthy will have found a miracle solution by then. And for the rest of us, again, to the extent that we can, we should be basking in and constantly pointing out and seeking to exploit the stupidity and chaos within the House Republican Conference, and once again demonstrating to voters, not just obviously progressive and liberal voters, not just even independent voters, but even, conservative voters, as we try to make the case on this channel. If you are looking, regardless of what our legitimate disagreements are, if you are looking for a responsible governing party that in all probability will at least pass some legislation which will materially improve your lives, then perhaps as we head into 2024, the next election cycle, you should be voting blue, no matter who.